Welcome to Essentials to Heal Yourself. I'm Laura Lee Humphreys. So today's conversation is going to offer you some solutions to things in a way that I bet you've never even considered before. So this can be a very interesting and exciting conversation, and I encourage you to listen all the way to the end. So let's just look at situations that we all face when we're trying to make a change of any kind, whether it's changing your eating, starting to do more exercise, looking at patterns that you have in how you respond to people that you're in a relationship with. So for example, you know this person is always going to trigger you in the same way, the same conversations, the same emotions. There's this pattern or theme that you recognize that you have with this person. You recognize it, but yet how do you change it? It can be so frustrating because you see yourself doing the same thing again and again. You're just repeating this rut. Or if you know you need to change some things in your diet and you want to, and yet all this resistance comes up, all this mental chatter. If I just don't like that food, or I just don't want to, it's just too easy to follow the old pattern of what you've always done. Or you know you need to go move more and do some more exercise, but it's too easy to stay on the couch or rationalize and give all kinds of excuses for I'll do it tomorrow. We've all been there. We all have our minds to deal with on all of the mental chatter. So how do we actually get through this wall? You know, I think this is the golden question for every coach out there. How do you actually make changes? Well, let me give you a solution that has worked for me and some other clients of people that I've worked with over the years. And I'll explain why this works. And I bet the solution is something you would have never thought of ever. And so it's dealing with plant medicine, what I call plant medicine. So let's look at what happens when you are in these kind of habitual patterns or ruts. It's a habitual response that you've done over and over and over for so many times, for so many years, that it's become an automatic response. Your body has learned to respond in a particular way so that now you're not even thinking about it anymore. It just happens, okay? This especially shows up in relationships when you recognize you're in the same pattern. This person triggers these same issues and emotions for you. That's a very obvious example of what I'm going to be explaining here today. So you've got these patterns of behavior, of thought, of how we think about the situation and how we feel as a result, okay? When you have this type of habit that becomes so automatic, you've got to understand that your body has been taught to respond in this way. And the body learns by chemistry, by making chemicals. It's the body's language is chemistry. Very important to remember this. So you feel an emotion. The body makes a chemical for that emotion. You feel thoughts that encourage you to respond in a certain way. Chemistry is made by the body, allowing you to do the actions, to think the thoughts and respond. So when you have a pattern, let's just use an example when in a relationship with somebody, because it's a very obvious example. When you have this pattern of, for example, the pattern would be you're always feeling intimidated or less than or self-doubt, low self-esteem, whenever you are in a certain exchange with another person. They know your triggers, okay? So every time you respond in a way that makes you feel the self-doubt, the low self-esteem, being less than, doubting, feeling insecure, those are chemical states that your body has learned to make habitually. So every time you're in an exchange with this person, your body knows, oh, here we go again. I know what to do. I know how to think or what thoughts to come up to present. I know how to respond. I know what chemicals to create these emotions to keep you stuck. Okay, it can be very frustrating. How do you get out of this? Okay. One of the things that I have found is that when we are in a state like this, we are literally addicted to the chemicals that our body is now producing. Let me say this again. You've become chemically addicted to your emotions. When you have the self-doubt, when you have the low self-esteem, the insecurity, the fear, the anxiety, all of those emotional states, the body makes chemicals which allows you to feel those emotions. When you're in the state of these emotional states for a long time, the body becomes acclimated to making these chemicals and acclimated to how you feel. You become chemically addicted to these emotions. And the thoughts that accompany them, the behaviors that accompany them, just embed this pattern deeper and deeper within your psyche and within your energy system and within the tissues or muscle memory of your body, within the neurology, your nervous system, within your endocrine, your hormone system, because you're making these chemicals. It's important to understand this because that shows you the way out. So if you're tired of feeling insecure, anxious, afraid, nervous, depressed, all the things, then you know you need to change the chemistry of your body. You need to train your body to feel and thus make different emotional molecules, different chemicals of emotion. That takes time, it takes discipline, it takes focus, it takes being the parent to yourself to say, no, I am in charge of me now. I'm going to train you, body, talking to your body, I'm going to train you now to feel acclimated to different chemicals so that you come to understand that these new chemicals of emotion that I want you to make are now the new norm. Instead of feeling and believing that the chemical states of depression and anxiety and self-doubt and criticism and insecurity is normal. Those are not normal states of being. Just because you've been feeling them for a very long time does not mean they are normal states of being. So you've got to train your body to let go of the addiction to those chemicals of those emotional states and learn how to accept chemicals of emotions of a higher state of being and accept that as your new normal, as a new habitual pattern and way of doing things. That is the work of healing. That is the work of self-growth. And yes, it does take work. You can't just expect that there's some magic bullet or some little sugar pill that you can take and make it all go away. Life does not work that way. You're here in life to evolve and to grow and to change and transform yourself. Not here to expect that some big daddy in the sky or some bigger government person, big daddy somewhere is going to come do it for you. That is delusional thinking. So when you come to the place where you say, okay, I'm in charge of myself, I'm going to step into a higher order of being, how do I make this change? That's when you can pull out tools like plant medicines, gifts of plants, to assist you with this. And by the gifts of plants or the plant medicine I am referring to, I'm talking about essential oils. I'm not talking about some of the other things that put you into a meditative trance. Essential oils are a type of plant medicine that are just as legitimate, just as helpful and useful as anything else. Provided you have an understanding of essential oils, how to use them, how to recognize and what to look for in essential oils to know when you're dealing with a good, high quality essential oil. Remember when I said the body learns through chemistry. The language of the body is chemistry. Therefore, when you're dealing with essential oils, you have to take chemistry into account because that is what makes essential oils work. Exactly like when you take pharmaceutical drugs. It's a chemical exchange within your body between your body's chemistry and that drug. Only when you're doing it that way, then the end result is detrimental and it adds toxic load to your body. When you're dealing with essential oils, especially high quality essential oils like what I have and what I'm going to teach you about, that's a completely different direction because that provides a positive result, a positive chemical shift within your body to support you in making the changes that you need to do. So, when you have an essential oil, let's use, for example, orange. A high quality, pure essential oil is going to have a specific chemical profile, meaning there are known compounds within this oil that make up the oil. It's been studied for a very long time. There's lots of literature on what those chemical profile compounds are, what are the right proportions of those chemical compounds, so that when you use an essential oil, it only needs a couple of drops ever because they're so potent when you have high quality oils. So when that chemical profile of the essential oil comes into your body and interacts with your body's chemistry, it's going to facilitate a positive, uplifting, beneficial change. When you have a high quality essential oil made from plants, there's a very synergistic relationship between our bodies and the essential oils because we're both from nature. Like recognizes like attracts like synergizes with like. So the body recognizes, oh, I recognize these compounds, these chemical compounds. I can work with them. I know what to do with them. And so the essential oil gets absorbed into your body very quickly, and it goes about supporting that chemical shift of what you want what you need the body to do. That's what drugs do, only in the adverse direction. Okay. Everything with the body is chemistry, including food. So let's come back to our example. When you have the states of depression or anxiety or low self-esteem, insecurities, all those things. Again, those are low levels of vibration, of frequency. There are also specific chemicals that the body is making. So you want to think about what is the opposite state that you want to feel. If you're depressed, you probably want to feel more joy. If you have self-doubt and insecurity, you want to feel more confident. So you look at the state of being that you're in, and then you look for the opposite state of being that you want to move towards. Then you choose essential oils that will support you in moving in that direction that you want to go. This is where the learning about essential oils and what oil does what comes into play. That's a huge whole topic of study, another conversation. Not for today. I'm just introducing you to this concept of how essential oils can help you shift your state and help you feel better and heal yourself. So for example, orange and lemon essential oils have the chemical constituents or the chemical profile within them that help your body make the chemistry of happiness and joy and feeling uplifted. So when you use those oils, either apply them topically, you can take them in certain oils you can ingest, or if you diffuse them into your home, then that assists your body to break down and eliminate and get rid of the chemistry, the chemicals of the emotion, of the depression, the anxiety, the self-doubt, the insecurity, all the negative things. They help your body break those down, so it helps the liver break them down so your body can eliminate them. And by undoing those chemical bonds, it also helps you break the addiction to feeling those emotions. So the more you use the essential oils when you are feeling those lower states, chemically, you are helping your body release all of those lower chemical states and lower emotional states, and you're training your body to create emotional chemicals, emotional molecules of emotions of higher states of being that you want to feel instead. Okay. So there's a range of essential oils to help you support you in moving into any kind of emotional state that you want to be in. That's where, again, the study of essential oils comes into play. But they're very efficient, helpful, non-toxic tools to support you in making those habitual changes that you know you need to make in order to heal yourself and to live in a more healthy way. They also will support you in loosening the grip of all of the mental chatter that is associated with those old patterns and habits that you've become addicted to and that are now running on autopilot. All of that emotional chatter that you tell yourself and that you believe, and that yet if you actually look at them, then you'll find that most likely all of that mental chatter, it's not even true. It's just mental chatter. Okay. The mental chatter is associated with those patterns and the emotional, unresolved emotional issues, sometimes trauma, that occurred when that pattern was instilled within you in the first place, from the very originating experience. The essential oils can support you, are excellent tools in helping you release, dissolve, break down, and move through those original anchors of those emotional experiences so that the pattern becomes loosened within your tissues, within your neurology, within your energy system, so that you can finally free yourself of those patterns of self-sabotaging behaviors. If this is something new, I encourage you to listen to this episode again and again, just so that you can start to understand the concepts that I'm teaching you here, because they're very important to understand how you can change yourself. Okay. So how do you know what is a good essential oil? What are some things to recognize or to look for? Well, again, remember, everything goes back to chemistry. And we're talking about how the chemistry of the oils interact with your body's chemistry. Therefore, it is critical to then look at the plant where the oil comes from. Where was it raised? How was it raised? What soil? Was it made from a GMO seed, which is going to adulterate the entire plant? Was the plant inundated and sprayed with tons and tons of herbicides, pesticides, and insecticides, and all of these toxic chemicals that the plant will absorb, and it will become part of this chemical makeup? Therefore, those toxic chemicals will become part of the essential oil chemical makeup. They won't be able to be separated in the distillation process. You don't need those chemicals in your body, and if they're intertwined into the chemistry of an essential oil, then that essential oil is really not going to do you any favor. It's going to actually add to toxic load. Oftentimes, there's also heavy metals that get absorbed into the plant through all of these toxic chemicals and things sprayed onto the plant, or that's in the water. And so the heavy metals are also going to show up in a lab test of that essential oil if you test for it. So you've got to have your oils sourced from plants who were cared for in a way and raised and harvested in a way that they could be the healthiest, most robust plant possible, so that they could then produce the essential oils within them that is the healthiest, most robust oil possible. Okay, so there's a whole art and science to that. And when you look at most brands of essential oils on the market, you have no idea any of this information, unless the company that you purchased your oils from can provide it for you, which in my experience of over 10 years of using essential oils, there's only one company who even has that kind of information, which is the company where I get my essential oils from. And if you would like to learn more about that, then you can contact me. My contact information is in the description of all my episodes. Okay, so the care of the plant is critical. The quality of the soil, the quality of the air, the sunshine, how much sunshine it's given, where it's grown. Additionally, when the plant is harvested, then that has to be taken into account, because there's a peak time when the oils are the most robust and fullest and kind of like rise to the surface, so to speak, within the plant. When the oils are at their peak capacity and the most robust, within that window of time is when you want to harvest the plant, so that when you put it into the distillation process, the fullest potential and capacity of what that plant can produce can be extracted out to give you the full range of the chemical compounds that's possible within, or that's from that plant, to have the most potent essential oil that can be made. Okay, so there's lots of different factors, and again, it's a very involved and detailed science and art, and it will make you go cross-eyed to try and learn it all. So you just trust the source that is giving you the oils. Another factor that you need to take into consideration when looking for an essential oil is the distillation process. Sometimes people, brands, companies, the people doing the distillation process will not pay attention to the temperature, the length of time of the distillation. They could add chemicals and alcohols and waxes and other things into the distillation process, which then gets mixed into the oil, and then you can't separate it out. And so then the end result is as an inferior essential oil. So when the distillation process is right, with the time and the temperature and everything just comes together, then that allows enough time for the entire compound, the entire profile of the chemistry of the oils to be extracted from the plant. Because some chemical compounds can be distilled out fairly quickly, others take a little bit longer. So again, there's a whole other area of study of the distillation process to extract out the fullest, most robust profile of essential oil that the plant is able to produce. So those are some of the things that you need to ask and think about and look for in choosing essential oils, especially when you're going to use them for therapeutic purposes. Because one of the biggest purposes or functions of the essential oil is to produce a chemical change within your body. That's what a therapeutic compound is. If the essential oil does not have the chemistry, does not have the chemical profile of the correct compounds to be able to facilitate that chemical shift within your own body's chemistry, then what are you doing? What's the point? Okay, that's what it's so important to understand this, so that when you're taking and using essential oils, like for example, lemon and orange, so that you can boost your moods and get out of your depression, that the oils you're using can actually support you chemically in being able to shift that emotional state. Okay. So it's not just about just taking a drug or slathering something on just for the sake of it, just because you read somewhere that it's going to be useful. It's about going the next step and understanding that in order for you to feel better, you have to shift the chemistry within your body, which also then unlocks the frequency, the energetics of your energy system. Because the emotions have their own frequencies too. Joy has its frequency of energy. Self-doubt has its own energetic frequency. And those work together within the chemistry of your body to keep them either locked into your body habitually, or to be able to shift your state into something of a higher order of being. Okay, so With that being said, I encourage you to go back and listen to this again and look into the world of essential oils and what they can do for you. If you want to know where I get mine from, if you want to learn more about them, then again, contact me. As I said, my contact information is in the description of all my episodes. And with that, my gift for you today is a downloadable PDF to help you start looking at some of these patterns and beliefs and things that keep you locked into place, keep you stuck in a rut. And that is a PDF entitled 7 Unconscious Beliefs That Prevent You from Healing. So I encourage you to download it. You can find the link in the description of this episode. Download it, look through it, think about it. And if you'd like to apply some essential oils to assist you in shifting those states, then reach out to me. So with that, thank you so much for tuning in. I encourage you to listen to this again if you need just a kind of a review to really grasp the concepts that I've taught here. Leave a comment, share this episode, subscribe to my channel. If you have questions, shoot me a message. And with that, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.